All right, my friends. So a lot of you have probably already seen the interview that Mark Cerny did today. Well, actually, he did multiple interviews. He did a video, a standalone video, kind of explaining, you know, PlayStation 5 Pro, what it actually does, what it was there for, the intricateness of the overall system, the specs, stuff like that. Basically confirming what Froggy already said, that it was RDNA 2, but it has some RDNA 3 features that were kind of put in there. Also, the way that they have designed the well, hardware, whatever, ray tracing, the stuff that they use for the PSSR is essentially, like I was talking about in another video a while back, it's essentially like a software thing. I pretty much confirms that, like, yeah, dude, my suspicions about it running on PSSR being able to easily run on RDNA 3, absolutely, man. It basically is what it is from my understanding, and this is after watching, you know, a few of these videos, from my understanding, it is a source code that runs on the RDNA tech architecture that allows it to use the chip in a way that is more performant, that will actually allow it to do the calculations needed for PSSR upscaling, which is machine learning. And if you go back and you kind of look at some of the other videos that I've done talking about, you know, like WMMA and all of these other things that are actually available in RDNA 3 and RDNA 2, technically what's going on is, instead of, I mean, it is hardware, obviously it's running on the CUs, it's running on the shaders, it's running on hardware, but it's not like dedicated hardware like tensor cores from what Nvidia has. It is essentially software based, but it's using the architecture in a way to where it's able to use that and use that compute and the memory and all of that to be able to run your ML your ML upscaling, your machine learning upscaling, which is pretty cool. But essentially, all of us PlayStation 5 Pro owners are really guinea pigs for a feature that is going to be significantly more prevalent in the PlayStation 6. So you gotta look at it two ways, okay? When I bought my PlayStation 5 Pro, I pretty much bought it for GT7 because PSVR 2, and because I wanted an early look at how FSR 4 is going to be performant on RDNA GPUs. And it has served both of those purposes for me. And then the third, final, thing that's like, hey, Frog, why are you so happy about a PS5 Pro? The fact that it literally enhances my whole library of games that I own on the PlayStation 5 and my PlayStation 4 games and stuff, guys. To me, that is valuable. That is valuable. Now, I've always been a gamer from the age of 5. From the age of 5, I've always been a gamer, and I've always been, really interested in tech. Maybe not like to the point where I'm like freaking chin beard freaking out about tech, and like knowing all the ins and outs and knowing all the freaking, names of everything. No, man, I've never been that deep into it. Like, man, I turn wrenches for a living, okay? I turn wrenches for a living, but I still like tech. And I started this YouTube channel, and yeah, dude, this has been fun. This has absolutely been an incredible journey to start a YouTube channel, to build a community, and to share my nerdness with everybody else, and to share my experiences as a consumer with you. So yeah, guys, I've put in the work. I look at myself as a man, okay? Everybody says that, hey man, this product is great, and I believe them. So I buy that product, and then I use it, and I find it lacking in their overall hype for it. So then I buy the next product, and yeah, obviously I'm referring to Nvidia and AMD. I found AMD to be a better experience for me. It gives me every single thing that I want and need from my gaming experience without all of the heartache that comes with, feeling like I have to upgrade every generation. So it's like, oh man, that kind of sucks. So yeah, and the same goes for Xbox and PlayStation, my friends. I'm a gamer. I will play games on whatever freaking system I have available. If that's an Xbox, cool, I'm going to play it on an Xbox. If it's a PlayStation, I'm going to play it on a PlayStation. Now, thankfully, because of the nature of this channel and the work that I have done on this channel since I started it, I have a pretty decent collection of PlayStation and Xbox Series X games that I'll be able to do some comparisons a little bit later for you guys. But when you look at what Mark Cerny said today, the most important thing that I think came out of that whole thing is the collaboration, the tight-knit collaboration with AMD, with Project Amethyst, to bring not only machine learning to the PlayStation 5 Pro, but also to AMD's RDNA GPUs. They are working together, building this stuff out and building it open source. Let that sink in for a minute. Open source. PlayStation has some of the greatest developers on the freaking planet. They have made some incredible looking games. And you can deny it all you want. You can get mad about that. And that's fine, like whatever. But the fact that PlayStation's greatest are working with AMD's greatest, building an open platform that even your Xbox could take advantage of. Not only just in hardware, but also with CNAs, which are the central neural unit or something. They're building these things out and they're using them. They're creating libraries that both of them can use. AMD, PlayStation, they are who are building your FSR 4 for your AMD GPUs going forward. Now, what I've seen, okay, in my experience with the PlayStation 5, there are some games clearly, or PlayStation 5 Pro, there are some games that look better with FSR 3, and then there's some that do a really good job with PSSR. Now, I'm going to be doing some of those comparisons because there's a bunch of games that have PSSR that I'm going to compare to the PC version to show you guys the difference between what the PlayStation version looks like versus what the PC maxed out looks like, and I'll let you guys decide, okay? Because for me, as a gamer, you know, obviously, guys, let's get this out of the way first. If you've got a base Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, if you buy a 1440p monitor, you're gonna be okay. Like, you'll be happy. I think you'll get a decent enough visual quality that you'll be okay with that. I think that it will impress you. You'll be happy with that. You'll be able to play your games and you'll have a more consistent experience. And trust me, I've spent the last 4 years testing this. Testing this. Literally, I bought a 1440p monitor for the Series S so that I could test that on 1440p. And I found along the way that the PS5 and the Xbox Series X actually really are very good and very suitable for 1440p. Now, here's the difference between the PlayStation 5 Pro. Like, it is basically clearly the same thing. It does have more power, all of that, and it's got machine learning, forward-thinking technology, obviously, you know. So when you couple that with what that platform is and what that system is, yes, it looks better on a 4K display. That's literally the freaking design for it. Like, you do not need to rush out and buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. You don't have to. Like, this is literally just trying to make your 4K experience better. That's literally the design philosophy from what Mark Cerny says for PS5 Pro. And you take that or leave it, however you want. There's no firm settings or anything that PlayStation is enforcing. The developers are still 100% free to make their own freaking decisions on how they want to build out their games. So don't expect everyone to just hit 4K 60. There's still going to be those outliers of games that are going to be coming in at 30 frames per second, you know, with really pretty graphics. And the PlayStation 5 Pro is just going to be able to make those look better. I do not recommend buying a PlayStation 5 Pro on the hopes that everything is going to be 4K 60. I would say the next couple of years are probably going to be okay. I would say, you know, give or take, next couple of years will probably be, you know, fairly decent. But then as games start to get more demanding toward the end of the generation, I could literally see things going back down. Now, PSSR, because of the way it runs on the shaders, like I said before in like my other videos, it's because of how it runs on the CUs, on the RDNA, that takes away from the overall power allotment that the PlayStation 5 Pro can actually do for other things. So it is sharing that pool of die space or whatever, or the CUs, you know, the shaders to be able to compute the overall ML upscaling. So you're gonna have to take that into consideration. Like if games get like a lot more like visually intensive and stuff like that, then yes, it's gonna take more of that raw power just to run those visuals. So when you look at other developers out there, if a developer comes out and is like, look, I'm gonna max out this power and just go for the best looking visuals, there is no room left for PSSR to upscale. So you will get whatever resolution that comes out at. Now, if you use other things, you know, like FSR or something else like that, there are other upscalers, you know, obviously, you know, PSSR is just one of the many upscalers that are out there nowadays. And in another video that I made, guys, I told you this. When it comes to like Nvidia, AMD, all of these companies, there's just not enough advancement hardware-wise to continue to push bigger and bigger gains. All of it is going to start coming through software. And I made this video before Mark Cerny's video came out, before Digital Foundry, before anybody else. I made this video telling you guys just the other day that yes, from now on, our gains are gonna be software. Our gains are going to come from software. It's not going to come from hardware as often as it used to. We're not going to be getting them 50% gains anymore. Is what we're going to start relying on a lot more over the coming years is software. How can the software be written to fully take advantage of the die space that's already there? And if you go back and you look at some of our older consoles and you look at the games that we used to have back then, and you look at the PC hardware that was that launched simultaneously with that, like the games didn't look significantly better, but they obviously looked better. But if they were to actually go out of their way and fully utilize and take advantage of the hardware we have on tap right now, I guarantee that our games could look significantly better. But they are always building games for multiple generations of hardware. So you never fully get to see what a new game can really do on new hardware, because there always has to be like a starting point or a bottom that game still has to run on. So a lot of games are going to start coming out with ray tracing only features, like you got with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You look at that game, if you use just the regular RT, you can run it very, very well. If you want to use the beta features, you know, like the beta ray tracing or whatever, then you can watch your performance dwindle rapidly. And then you can buy a new freaking Nvidia GPU that'll, you know, they always tell me that AMD is behind. It sounds like Nvidia is always behind. You know what I mean? It sounds like they bring out their cards and they can run the games that were clearly built for, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, I don't know. They say that AMD's behind. Well, it's like, dude, to me, it feels like Nvidia's behind. Like they sell you a GPU and then 2 years later, it can't even run the new games that are coming out. But then you guys are going to get mad at AMD and say that AMD, yeah, whatever, guys, like whatever. This whole PC thing has never made any sense to me. These little rules and regulations that you guys have built into your little freaking chin beard space, bro. No, I'm just joking. I'm just saying that like all the stuff that you guys have built into this, all these rules and standards, they don't make any damn sense to somebody like me that thinks the way I do. It doesn't make any sense. No, man. If you should be able to buy, if your whole freaking premise or reason to own a damn GPU for Nvidia is ray tracing, that card head damn well better be able to keep doing ray tracing a lot further into the future than just till their next card comes out. AMD feature set 100% works across the board and still continues to work for new games. It's weird. Like it's weird. Like I'm getting new games that normally if I had an Nvidia card, I would start to see that performance go down because I had been so used to having that path tracing and ray tracing at the beginning of the generation all the way in until it drops off. That to me makes me mad. But with AMD, I'm like sitting here playing, you know, Indiana Jones and Stalker 2 at the same basic frame rates and performance and visual quality that I've been used to since I got the card. So that there just tells me that AMD has built better longevity into their cards. Obviously, you know, you get the AMD feature set. And it seems to be working, and it continues to work. So yeah, guys, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty excited about the fact that AMD and PlayStation are actually going to be running together to do this this whole FSR 4 thing. It is pretty exciting, man. I was going to do like a bigger, deeper dive into this, but I got a couple other video ideas that I wanted to make tonight. So I wanted to do those. I just wanted to put out my kind of thoughts on this. Like it's exciting, you know, to see Mark Cerny come out and pretty much basically set the record straight. Like, look, guys, nobody said this thing was going to be 33 teraflops, but then you got other people out there running with that. And there's like so much confusion, dude. That's why I don't like these leaks and whatever that everybody always comes up with, because they're always like, yeah, man, this is the leak. And then it's like they leak all this stuff about AMD. And then when AMD doesn't hit that bar, then they're like, oh man, AMD's trash, it's trash, it's trash. And it's like, really, dude? Like, they're already leaking that AMD's gonna sell this card for $500. If it's 4080 power, it's gonna be like $700. I would just count on $700 for that level of power. And when it comes to Nvidia, they give you all these leaks, and then they come out, and yeah, dude, nothing ever adds up. But then they always dismiss the Nvidia leaks and, oh, don't worry about it. They're worth it. They're worth it. How is that worth it, man? If your card is already not performing after 2 years, how the hell is that worth it? How the hell is more money worth it? I don't get it. I don't get you guys. You guys don't make sense to me sometimes. I love you, but you don't make sense to me. Like, I really do. I really do love you, and I care for you. That's why I don't ever block anybody. But yeah, I find it weird. I find it weird that we're like doing this. But yeah, guys, I'm excited about this. I thought that was a pretty entertaining video for Mark Cerny to do today. It was pretty funny to see him call out people being like, no, dude, not in any of our marketing or developer hardware do we ever say 33 teraflops. That was pretty funny, man. That was hilarious. And then you look at like the overall you know, package, and I like the fact that he came out and he's like set the record straight. Honestly, it's like, look, guys, this is what it is. Hopefully, you know, hopefully your beta test goes as good as ours, because we're going to be beta testing and building out this new feature that is going to be very important. I like how he said we'd rather put it out now and start testing it instead of launching it with PlayStation 6, basically already confirming next gen hardware and having to work through all the stuff then. Because right now, guys, if you want me to be honest, a lot of stuff that's come out on PSSR, I've bought in a lot of these games, dude. I went back and I bought a lot of these games so I could test them myself and make my own mind up about them, because I'm not going to just sit here and be drag around, you know, like some lost puppy that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I bought them and I decided for myself. And to be completely honest with you guys, I saw a lot of improvement just in the patches that have come out for a lot of these games. And I could play those games, and I'm coming to you as a consumer that bought this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I would have been okay with this. You guys have seen me rail against checkerboard rendering, checkerbirds, FuzzK, all of this shit. PlayStation 5 Pro, honestly, guys, I think honestly it's because I didn't come into it super hyped. I actually came into it extremely skeptical on the PlayStation 5 Pro. That when I sat down and I looked at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude, this actually looks pretty good. And it kept surprising me. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, dude, how the hell is this thing doing so good? In my mind, I thought this thing was going to be a scam, a trash scam. But then I'm looking at it and I'm playing it, and I'm going through the motions, you know, as somebody, you know, setting up their PlayStation, playing their new games, downloading stuff, you know, checking things out, you know, looking at the visuals and all that stuff. And I'm finding myself blown away more times than I'm not. So I'm like, damn, dude, I do feel like there's a lot. I do feel like if a lot of people did buy this, you know, especially the people that are out there like really trashing it, if they were really gamers, I guarantee this thing would probably like soften them up just like it did me, because I literally came into this thinking that the PlayStation 5 Pro was going to be a scam, dude. I literally did. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not going to be good. This is going to be the worst ripoff ever. But in closing, my friends, and this kind of hurts to say, but I'm going to say it. And I don't want you to take anything really negative out of this, because it's not a jab at anything or anybody or anything. But PlayStation really does feel like they've been robbing us blind this generation. Like, I stand by that. And I've been saying that since the beginning of this generation. This is the most expensive generation that we've ever experienced with PlayStation. But now that PlayStation 5 Pro is out, and you look at the cost of it with the dwindling console market, and you look at the price of that, at least they are still trying to innovate and bring more exclusivity or more value to the PlayStation base that loves and wants to be and continue to be a part of this ecosystem. Now, I said this before, guys, and I'm not lying. Like, I'm not being facetious or anything like that. The PlayStation 5 Pro could have prevented me from going PC. It is already too late for that. Like, the PlayStation 5 Pro or Xbox or any of that shit's never going to pull me away from PC. I love it too much. I'm 100% PC master race. So take everything I say about the PlayStation 5 Pro with a grain of salt. Like, do that. I'm a PC guy through and through now. Like, I'm 100% convinced that PC is the greatest thing for me in my gaming. But the PlayStation 5 Pro impressed me. It impressed me. This is like the two consoles that have impressed me the most this generation: Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5 Pro. I know they're at the complete polar opposite extremes of each other, but those two have really impressed me. The Xbox Series X or Series S was like, wow, this is pretty good. Xbox and PlayStation 5 Pro, these two consoles have really impressed me, and you know, really restored that, like, wow, man, this is actually fun to get on a PS5 Pro and play games. It is. Would I stop buying my games on PC to buy them on PS5 Pro? Probably not. Probably not. Absolutely not. I would definitely much rather have the game on the PC. I mean, buying a second copy of the game, though, that's not out of the cards. That's not out of the cards. So, yeah, guys, as it sits right now, I just want you guys to know that you know, if you're one of my fans from Xbox and like you're wondering, you know, like, Frog, why don't you cover Xbox anymore? It's like, look, man, Xbox pretty much has decided that they are more interested in an ecosystem that is kind of less exciting, you know? Like, Game Pass is great. It's great. I still believe that's the best value in gaming. I still believe in the Xbox overall thing about just, you know, being more open, putting their games everywhere, continuing to build hardware, stuff like that. Like, I fully believe in the plan that Xbox has, but, you know, over the last year, I have started to lose maybe just a little bit of faith, just due to the fact that every single game that I've wanted to play from Xbox keeps getting pushed back. So I started getting a little annoyed. I even canceled my my Game Pass subscription for about 3 months. I was like, no, I'm not gonna pay for that because you keep delaying the games that I want to play. Right now, guys, Xbox is in an interesting position. I think Xbox is still trying to figure out who the hell they are or what the hell they're going to be going forward. And I'm giving them some space. I'm not making negative videos. I'm not bashing Xbox to prop up PlayStation or any of that kind of stuff. I don't need to do that. I still 100% believe in the Xbox brand. When their games, you know, come out, I still play them. But yeah, guys, I don't know why I didn't get into Call of Duty this year. I'd pretty much checked out. I've been more into the sim racing thing this last end of the year, and yeah, and my woke games. So I like my woke games. So all right, my friends. So yeah, nothing bad about Xbox. I'm not disgruntled or anything like that. Not upset. I don't regret freaking, you know, recommending Xbox. So, you know, at the time, that was the best information we had. And I wouldn't have changed. I was telling you guys a long time before that, yeah, dude, there's no way PlayStation's giving up the Pro moniker. That thing's going to come out. So if this is the new precedent, comes out 4 years after, I don't necessarily think that's bad though, guys. 4 years is more than enough time for a new refresh of hardware to like keep things exciting. I know it sucks, but I think Xbox should have done it too, man. I don't know what the freak Xbox is doing, and it's like, wow, dude, I can't believe they're not taking advantage of this market to do that for their most of their fans, most of the freaking hardcore Xbox fans are my age or a little bit younger or maybe a little bit older. these guys have the money to buy a console every 4 years. 4 years versus a 2-year GPU. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. This video has gotten long, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. See you later.